Hello friends, hope you all are good. Today we will learn about the digestive system. First of all, we will see that all organism depends on food for their existence. So plants are autotrophic living organisms that prepare their own food, and animals are heterotrophic because they are not able to prepare their own food. They are dependent on others for preparing the food. So human nutrition is a holozoic. Now I will tell you what is holozoic. Holozoic nutrition means it is a mode of nutrition in which simple food substance are obtained from complex food substance. As I give you an example, you eat rice, it is in complex form, and when you eat, after the digestion it is converted into glucose, and it is all the nutrients are taken up by the small intestine. So this type of nutrition is called as holozoic nutrition. So there are different steps of in holozoic nutrition. First is ingestion. Ingestion means you take the food from your mouth. Okay, then is digestion. Digestion is the process which involves the breaking down of the complex organic food materials such as carbohydrates, fats, protein, vitamins and minerals into simpler and smaller substance. It involves a mechanical as well as a chemical change in the food. Then the last step is the absorption. After the digestion, the nutrients are absorbed in the small intestine and it is transferred into the blood or lymph. The absorbed food molecules are then circulated to different cells of the body where they are utilized. After that, there is the process is assimilation. Assimilation involves the using the absorbed food substance to synthesize complex components in the different cells of the body. After that, there is egestion. Egestion is the process of removal of undigested food from the body. Now I will tell about there are two types of digestion. One is intracellular and second is extracellular digestion. First, intracellular digestion. It is a type of digestion that involves digestion of food within the food vacuoles in the cell. It is taken inside the cell. Some organisms like protozoa and spongy shows intercellular digestion. Next is extracellular digestion, which is taken beyond the cell. It is a type of digestion where food is digested in the cavity or a tube, that is called as alimentary canal. So our human is a extracellular digestion. Here digestive enzymes are secreted by some cells and it is done in the alimentary canal. Today we will learn about human digestive system. First, there are, as you can see in the picture, the alimentary canal in association with the accessory glands makes up the digestive system. First, the parts of the alimentary canal. First is mouth, then buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine and large intestine. Accessory glands, salivary gland, pancreas and liver. Digestive enzymes. The digestive enzymes speed up the process of breaking down complex food substances that can be easily absorbed. So, three types of digestive enzymes are involved in digestion. First is proteolytic enzyme. That proteolytic, as you can understand, proteolytic means enzyme that break up proteins. Then lipolytic, that break enzymes that break up fats. Amylolytic enzymes that break up carbohydrates. So proteolytic, lipolytic, amylolytic enzyme. Now we will study about alimentary canal. So it is a muscular and a tubular structure of varying diameter. It starts from the mouth and ends in the anus. Some parts of canal are pouch like and some are narrow. You can see in the picture, and some are coiled. First we will learn mouth. So mouth is the soft movable part. So in this it is covered with the lips and with the skin on the outer side and mucous membrane towards the inner side. After mouth, oral cavity. This is a large space beyond the above of the palate. You can see the buccal cavity in the picture. Below the throat and on the sides of the jaw, it includes a palate, teeth and tongue. The epithelial tissues lining the buccal cavity is a squamous epithelial tissue. Next is a palate. The anterior part of a palate is an arched and it is known as a hard palate, and it is strong, it is covered by bone, and the posterior part is called as soft palate and it is smooth and it makes the swelling easy. Tongue. It is a muscular organ that lies mainly in the buccal cavity and partially in the pharynx. It helps in ingestion, tasting food, swallowing and speech. Then teeth. Next is teeth. Teeth are present both in the jaws in the human, and they remain embedded in the tooth socket, and that socket is called as alveoli. The upper jaw is known as maxilla and the lower jaw is known as mandible. So humans are heterodont and adults have four types of teeth: incisors, canines, premolars and molars. The teeth chew and masticate the food, and the buccal cavity forms the entrance to the digestive tract. Digestion in the mouth occurs with the help of salivary gland. Salivary gland exists in three pairs. First is parotid, sublingual and submandibular. You can see in the picture where the salivary gland is located. It is divided into sublingual gland, submandibular duct and submandibular gland. Now I will tell about you the functions of saliva. It has an enzyme that is called as lysozyme that makes the saliva bactericidal and protects the teeth against cavity. The food particles are moistened by saliva. The enzyme phytolin partially converts the starch into maltose. Next is the pharynx. The pharynx is about 12 cm long vertical canal. It has a common chamber for food pipe and a windpipe. It also have a opening of Estouchin tube leading to the middle ear and internal nares. Then is the esophagus. Esophagus is 25 cm long. You can see in the picture narrow tube that run downwards behind the trachea and passes through the diaphragm in the abdomen. It bends here to open into the stomach. So no digestion takes place in the esophagus. Only the food from the mouth is transferred into the stomach by the esophagus. The partially digestive pulpy mass of food known as food bolus moves forward due to the peristaltic movement of esophagus and reaches to the stomach, and the alternate contraction and relaxation of esophagus muscles causing the movement of food bolus is known as peristalsis. Okay, then the food goes to stomach. The food undergoes further chemical and mechanical process when it reaches the stomach. Stomach is lined by the mucous membrane that protects the tissues of the stomach from self-digestion. Several secretory glands open into the stomach and produce the gastric juices. The juice is made up of enzymes such as pepsin, rennin, hydrochloric acid, water and minerals. The enzyme pepsin is produced in inactive form, that is pepsinogen. It is the presence of HCl, the inactive pepsinogen converted into the active pepsin. The food bolus get processed in the stomach. The food bolus get processed in the stomach and gets converted to a partially digested mass known as chyme. This conversion takes 3 hours and then chyme moves toward the small intestine with the help of pyloric sphincter which guards the opening of a stomach into a small intestine. In the stomach, the food is mixed with the digestive juices such as pepsin, rennin and hydrochloric acid. water and minerals. After the stomach, the food goes to the small intestine. The peristaltic activity of the stomach releases a chyme into the upper part of small intestine known as duodenum. The small intestine is divided into three parts: duodenum, jejunum and ileum. Duodenum is 25 centimeter long. In the upper part of small intestine, it receives the pancreatic juice from the pancreas and bile juice from the liver through the bile duct. Enzyme pancreatic amylase, trypsin, stepsin remain present in the pancreatic juice. So in the duodenum, the uh, starch is mixed with the pancreatic amylase and it is converted into maltose. Okay. Remaining proteins, peptones and proteoses mix with the trypsin protein and peptides and amino acid. Emulsified fat is mixed with the stepsin and with the fatty acids and glycerol. After the duodenum, it goes to jejunum. It is the middle part of small intestine. It is around 2.5 centimeter long and it is in continuation with duodenum. So no chemical digestion occur there. And in the ileum, next is the ileum. It is a coiled tube which is narrow, about 3.6 meter long. It is the final stage of mechanical and chemical processing of the food occurs in the ileum. The completely digested food is found in the small intestine and it is known as chyle. So in the ileum, the trypsin converts the remaining protease, peptones and peptide into amino acids. Maltose is converted into maltose and glucose. Sucrase is converted into sucrose, into fructose and glucose. Lactase convert lactose into galactose and glucose. So in the final absorption takes place in the ileum of the small intestine. After that, the absorption of nutrient is the process by which body receive the different types of nutrient. Absorption occur in all parts of digestive tract, but the main is the ileum of the small intestine. The food remain in the small intestine for 4 hours. The ileum is adapted for absorption of food in the following way. It has a line. The inner lining is thrown into many finger-like projection known as villi. So these villi take the nutrients and it give to the blood cells. Okay, it gives to the blood and from the blood it is transferred into the smaller parts of our body and then into the cells. Carbohydrates are absorbed in the form of glucose, fructose and galactose, and proteins in the form of amino acid. They get absorbed in the blood capillaries, whereas the fats gets absorbed in form of a fatty acid and glycerol. Gets absorbed in the lymph vessels. They cannot be absorbed in the blood vessel because they are insoluble. Vitamins, minerals and water also get absorbed in small intestine. After the absorption, assimilation. The absorbed substance finally reach the tissues which utilize them for their activity. This process is known as assimilation. The food that has been digested and absorbed become a part of the organism. Okay. So after assimilation, there is the egestion. Egestion is the taking out the undigested food from the body. It is taken from the large intestine. The large intestine is divided into three main parts: cecum, colon and rectum. First is the cecum. It is a junction of small intestine and large intestine. Colon runs up from the cecum, lies horizontally and then descend to open in the rectum. It promotes reabsorption of water. So the reabsorption of water is done in the large intestine, and after that the waste is removed from the rectum. Rectum is a bag-like distensible structure that terminates into the anal canal. The anal canal is guarded internally and externally by the sphincter muscle. The undigested food, mainly the cellulose fiber, sloughed off cells from the lining, and the bile contents and the bacteria present make up the fecal matter and removed from the rectum. The fecal matter moves along the large intestine by the mean of peristalsis. So, hope you understood the whole process of digestion. Thank you for today. Hope you like it. Do like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.